A well-stocked pantry means that you can prepare a meal on a whim at any given moment, and that's a really good feeling to have. This is your first step on this journey to your new, healthier life, and Thrive Market can help you get there because, like always, all of these pantry items you will find on Thrive Market for 25 to 50% less than you would buy them at the supermarket, so it's gonna save you money. So what do you need in this new, healthy pantry of yours? Let's start with vinegars. There are two vinegars that are pretty much essential. A balsamic vinegar, because a lot of people like that drizzled on their greens and also on their steamed vegetables, and an apple cider vinegar. That's your go-to for your salad dressing. Also, a nice little health tip for you: if you start your day with a glass of lukewarm water and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, it does a nice little digestive reset on your digestive system. So, a little health tip for you there also. Oils. 3 oils that are pretty much essential. A good, high quality extra virgin olive oil, organic if you can get it. Also coconut oil. Coconut oil, because it's solid at room temperature, is your swap out for butter or shortening in your baked goods. It's a little bit healthier, it's a really good source of healthy fat. Also, because coconut oil can withstand high heats, it's really good for sauteing. And then a lot of people like to have a good vegetable oil on hand also. So make sure you're getting a vegetable oil from an organic source. Salt and pepper, of course, you can't cook anything without a little bit of salt or a little bit of pepper. Sweeteners, of course you want to have your standard sugar on hand, but this is a chance to have an unbleached sugar and an unrefined white sugar also, which is excellent. It's a good time to start experimenting with alternative sweeteners. A raw honey is a really good one to start experimenting with, also maple syrup, and then agave nectar. This is a great time to start playing around with agave nectar. It's lower on the glycemic index, so it's really good, especially for people who are insulin sensitive. Coffee and tea. Of course, if you're a coffee drinker, you want to have a good high quality coffee. Fair trade organic is your best choice for coffee, or go somewhere in that realm. And then there are so many teas that you can start experimenting with today, especially herbal teas. Herbal teas are a great alternative for sweet juices. Herbal teas also can be medicinal to help you with everything that ails you, from a tummy ache to a headache to brain fog. Whole world of teas out there for you to explore. Your baked goods. Of course, you probably already have baking soda on hand, and you probably have baking powder, but if your baking powder is a little bit old, it might be time to toss it and replace it. Old baking powder actually doesn't activate as well in your baked goods, so it's not going to do you any favors to cook with old baking powder. Your flour. Now is the time to start weaning yourself off from that white flour and swap it out for a nice whole grain wheat flour instead. It's also a good time, if you want to start experimenting with some gluten-free baking mixes or some gluten-free flours. And then cocoa powder. I think cocoa powder is just a really nice thing to have in the pantry. Of course, it's great in your baked goods. It's good stirred into a little boiling water and hot cream, but it also can add a nice flavor, a healthy flavor to things like chilies and stews and different things like that. Then your grains. Of course, you want to have rice on hand. This is your chance to get away from the white rice and move towards a whole grain brown rice instead. I really like short grain brown rice. Long grain is good also. Short grain is a little bit stickier than the long grain is. And then it's a good time to start experimenting with some other grains. Quinoa is a really good nutty grain, really high source of protein, so it's an excellent swap out for rice. You can start playing with some good whole grain pastas or even gluten-free pastas. And then cornmeal. Cornmeal is so inexpensive, and you can use it, of course, to make things like corn muffins, but it's also good turned into polenta, either stovetop or in the oven. Just add a little pat of a nice high-quality butter onto the top of it, and that's your alternative for a baked potato or a dinner roll or something. Much healthier and also very inexpensive, very quick to make on the stovetop as well, which is good when you get home from work and you have to throw together a dinner. Now, your canned goods. When you're buying canned goods, you want to make sure you find canned goods that are BPA-free in the lining of the can. You'll also start to notice there are a lot more pantry staples that are being sold in glass jars or aseptic packaging, which is sort of that juice box packaging, instead of just cans. And that's because people are trying to get to the healthier way of packaging your foods. So look for things that are packaged in glass jars and also in the big juice boxes, things like your broths and your soups, but also your canned tomatoes you'll start finding in packaging like this. Herbs and spices, of course you need those to cook anything, so get a few good ones for your cooking: parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Anyone? And then a few good ones for your baking also: cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, cloves, whatever you typically like. This does not mean you need to go into your spice rack and throw away everything that you have. This is a good chance that as something runs out, then you replace it with the organic alternative or maybe the higher quality alternative, but you don't have to throw out everything you have and start over. Then snacks. There's so many high quality snacks to replace the standard chips and crackers that maybe you've been used to snacking on. So look for whole grain crackers, nuts and seeds, good high quality organic dried fruits instead. Thrive Market has so many great healthy snacks for you to get you started on this healthy journey. And make sure you keep watching this video series. I have a whole video just on snacks. You want to make sure you watch that one. And as always, if you have any questions or comments or thoughts, we want to hear from you. So post those in the comments section below.